Everyone loves that clickety-clack coming down the track. They can't ignore that all aboard, smoke pouring out the stack. Hear that whistle blow as the train pulls out of the station. It's clear to me, oh can't you see, it's a Lionel Nation. Clouds of smoke are rising high into a big blue sky. Down the line, right on time, a train is rolling by. Everyone turns around and stares in anticipation. It's clear to me, oh can't you see, it's a Lionel Nation.
We visit the Lionel Railroad Club of Milwaukee, where the big attraction is an eye-popping 28-foot-long replica of the Hellgate Bridge. Lionel's post-war dealer displays are very rare. Collector Bill Stowers has an all-original D191. Ken Klotz runs Modern Lionel and one-of-a-kind animations he designed and built himself. Ellen and Steve Tomasi's Christmas layout is for all seasons, and Ellen enjoys it as much as Steve.
Engine shining gleam, that mighty sound and steam. Pistons pound around and round, just like in a dream. Another train pulls in and arrives at its destination. It's clear to me, oh can't you see, it's a Lionel Nation. It's clear to me, oh can't you see, it's a Lionel Nation.
Plus operating tips and rail scenes featuring Lionel's latest modern diesels in action. We have a lot to cover, so let's get started. First stop, the Lionel Railroad Club of Milwaukee.
Welcome to the Lionel Railroad Club of Milwaukee. Located in the suburb of New Berlin, Wisconsin, it is one of the oldest Lionel clubs in the country.
So the Lionel Railroad Club, we're kind of the granddaddy of the Lionel clubs. We have authorization from Joshua himself, authorizing us use of his name. We were started in 1947. At that time in the Milwaukee area there was a big blizzard. It was just after the World War. It had like 6 feet, 12 feet of snow in places with the blizzard coming off the lake. And it ended up shutting down the city for 3 days.
The blizzard provided a spark for a young boy to start the club.
This is our 4th location that we've been to. Our first location was at the Jerry Brickschneider's house. He was the founder. He was 6 years old, and in that 1947 blizzard went knocking at doors within the neighborhood, trying to find other kids, just after Christmas, trying to find, other kids that had trains. So he ended up finding 5 others. The oldest, which was 8 years old, he was the paymaster, or the treasurer, and so the 4 of them, 5 of them, they got together, started a club who had nickel dues at the time, and came around and ran their trains. Over the years, they did field trips to other places. Jerry was in the Army, so he moved down to St. Louis. Found out there wasn't a train club, Lionel Club in the area, and so he started his other club. So they've been in operation 25 years. Then from there, he was deployed to San Francisco. Then they found there was no club there either, and he did the same process, started a club, asked around at hobby shops and such. Then we had a train display at Chicago, and found out there was no Chicago train Lionel club. So he put out a piece of paper, took names of people that were interested, and again, got a club started. And the same thing in Kenosha. So there's 5 Lionel clubs. We all share the name Lionel Club, but we all operate independently. And Jerry's the key figure between them, that everybody has to, call him the founder.
It's been 65 years since Jerry Bretschneider started the club, and today it's still going strong.
So we have about 200 members that are part of our group. Quite a few of them, are in the Milwaukee area, but we do have people in Chicago. We have one in Ohio. We used to have one in Hawaii. We have one in Colorado and Massachusetts, and I think there's a couple on the East Coast. A lot of them collect the cars that we produce, primarily Milwaukee Road Series, and they like to be on the mailing list, so they're a member of us. In addition to, there's other, lots of other members that are associate members that have a mailing list for our cars that we produce.
After being forced to relocate, the club managed to settle at their present location.
So this location here, we've been February of 2002. We had just got moved out of our location in 80th and Burleigh. From there we moved to 102nd and Fond du Lac for 18 years. Each of those places was a rental facility. We had built a nice layout, but by the time you finally get it all done, somebody comes knocking on the door, I love what you do, but business is business, time to find somewhere else. So we found this place after a little searching. It was for sale. The building is 3,000 square feet. We took out a mortgage for a few years, and fortunately we had a club car that we produce with Lionel. We were able to sell all the cars and make enough money on that to pay this off. So we now own this building free and clear.
Club members worked together to create the layout, starting with the track plan.
Yeah, each of the layouts that we've designed, this one here was a committee design. It's a very complicated layout, especially the inner layout. Everything with ramps in between to go up and down between all the levels. Lots of track and lots of scenery that you can see on it. Pretty much it's a volunteer, one person, a couple people are in charge of scenery projects around the layout. Some of us, have projects in electrical, and I keep a master list of all what needs to be done, so if somebody's bored, they can just, look at the list and say, okay, here's something to do, go at it. In the 30 plus years I've been part of the club, we've made great advances in how we've, gone from one layout to another. This one here, we've made tremendous progress in the short time that we've been here. Like the last layout, we were there for 18 years, and it wasn't until like year 12 or 15 before we got to this kind of point where we're at with this layout. So
the ample space enabled the club to build a large display.
We can run 17 trains at once on our layout. We have three basic layouts: the dog bone layout with a trolley line and two individual kids lines. We have the Hellgate Bridge with 3 tracks, and the outside is a standard gauge and O gauge, so you can run dual on that. And the main layout is 3 levels with multiple trains. The roundhouse is the only piece that we have from all of the layouts.
The impressive model of the Hellgate Bridge is 28 feet in length and was designed and constructed by several club members.
So there's lots of scenery that you see going on, lots of activities, lots of lights. The scenery crew is to be, commended for all their intricate work and stuff. I'm part of the electrical, and I can sit, underneath and wire it for hours and, days and days, but it wasn't until the scenery comes on, that's when all the magic happens, that things, people go ooh and ah over everything that's going on.
Club member Gil Brook is the man in charge of creating the scenery.
I love to do scenery, and I have a crew that comes in on Wednesdays, and 4 or 5 guys, and sometimes more. That wall there on the dog bone layout was supposed to be the Wisconsin Avenue Viaduct that went from one end to the other end of town. Well, we couldn't do the whole viaduct all the way down, so we just made that small section where it's called Pigsville. I had to cover the rest of that wall, and I just took plywood sheets home and made it all at home with the stones and put strips of wood in there so we could make it look like a retaining wall.
The club decided to use 2 types of 3-rail track.
Well, this one is a mix between the tubular, O-gauge track and the Gargraves track. We tried to put the tubular track at the very top level of the 3rd level, where most people, except for a few of our basketball players, can actually see the upper level. The dog bone layout is where the other tubular track people like to run the stuff with the shoes on.
While being a member of the club means doing some work, it also means having some fun.
Pretty much running any train, we don't have any real specific type of train that you can run. Whatever we can run command primarily. The TMCC and the Legacy work really well for here. It would be nice to have more accessories. We intended for that to happen. I guess the track department got overwhelmed, and there's track everywhere. It'd be nice to have more accessories and more buttons and switches. I mean, that's the cool thing about Lionel is action and lights and sounds and that type of thing.
The club hosts weekly open houses, and visitors come away impressed.
So the reaction of the public, everybody's very amazed at everything that we have.
The club also boasts an impressive collection of vintage toy trains donated by Doug Yeager.
The trains on display was from a collection. Doug donated most of this. It's about 600 pieces. He found us through some contacts. He turned out to be just down the road from us. So he's been very proud to present it to us. Lots of neat trains, a lot of history. We consider it more of a museum than a train club now.
14-year-old Christian Babcock is one of the younger members of the club.
I've been a member of the club for almost a year. I discovered this club thanks to a friend of mine on the internet who told me about it because I've been wanting to join a train club for quite a while. So he told me about this club. We came to the open house and me and my dad joined the club. I usually try to come as many days as possible, and I usually just run trains, or if they need my help, I'll give them a hand. Probably the best maker in my decision is Lionel. Well, I just love how it works, and I just love how the trains operate. They make sounds like the real stuff, and how they look so accurate to the actual thing.
David agrees with Christian that model railroading is time well spent.
To me, I believe it's the world's greatest hobby. We do a number of different events to promote the hobby, high interest days, senior nursing homes, lots of train shows around the area. We do a Boy Scout Merit Badge clinic twice a year that they can come in for the whole day, learn about trains, and they go away with the badge and a special patch that we've produced for that. The model railroading is an all-encompassing hobby. It doesn't matter what you are, if you're a lawyer or a ditch digger or something, everybody's all on common ground here with the trains. You can be, we talked about scenery, electrical, there's construction, woodworking, track laying, civil engineering, photography. I can't think of anything better to do with your life to learn a hobby like this.